hoods pulled down. They seem to be really well organised. They seem to be communicating with each other on radios and that kind of thing. The police were in evidence. There were about 10 or so riot vans but moving around, and there was dogs definitely in one of them. The problem seemed to be is they didn't know exactly where to go and what to do. We stayed in one place. The police were very strong in force. They then moved away, presumably having got a call to go somewhere else. We waited around, and then the looters started up again, and they attacked a chemist, started removing things from that. They attacked a mobile phone shop. I also saw 5 or 6 people walking up the street carrying fire extinguishers under their arms. It's a really tense atmosphere here. There's hardly anyone else on the streets. I spoke to a girl who was really upset. She'd been on a bus, her and her boyfriend, just coming into the city to go for a night out. There was a mob attacking a shop. When the bus stopped at some lights, the mob turned around and started attacking the bus with rocks, and they started climbing on the bus. She and her boyfriend had to get out and flee for their lives. I'll just give you a view from the other side of things. A couple of young people I spoke to, there was one girl who said that we're out here tonight. She wasn't actually doing anything herself, but she said, I sympathise with the people that are doing this, even though I don't like the consequences, because the police are racist. I've got lots of black friends. I see how they're being treated. And she feels that this has been building up for a long time. She said there's been a real sense of anger here. There was another girl I spoke to who was an outreach worker, and she said, I'm not a thief, but I'm here because I feel a real anger. And she talked about how there was just no opportunities for people in deprived areas of Birmingham, how young people grow up without any opportunities at all, and she felt that that could be a part of the reason that people were out on the streets tonight. Obviously, a lot of the people I saw were just after whatever they could carry out of the shops, but these 2 people I spoke to did give some kind of feeling of the resentment underneath all this.
I'm just, in fact, been given a figure of 35 people arrested.
Trouble going on here, literally just a couple of floors below us. The riot police were having to come up and actually clear the building where we are now. So it doesn't, to me, seem that this is calming down at all. There might be more police being out on the streets since about 7 or 8 o'clock this started, but certainly in terms of it dying away, it really doesn't feel like that.
All right, well, Claire, thank you very much for that. Claire Marshall there with the latest on the situation in Birmingham.
Of our communities across London. As a result of that, we have a lot of police officers on duty, but I do urge now that parents start contacting their children and asking where their children are. There are far too many spectators who are getting in the way of the police operations to tackle criminal thuggery and burglary, and I'm imploring that people within those communities actually start clearing the streets to enable my police officers to deal with the criminality that is occurring in front of them. I can understand grievances, and I've heard lots of debate about what the various issues are that are making people commit these acts. But what I've seen is pure violence, it's pure gratuitous violence, it is criminal damage, and it is burglary. I and my officers will pursue all those that are engaged in criminality, and we will put them in front of the courts, and we will be asking the courts to send down significant sentences in relation to this form of activity. There are many thousands of young people in London who do not commit crime, and we are seeing communities blighted by the actions of a few. But I do implore people, we do ask people to implore you to actually ask people to clear the way for us, to allow us to arrest those that are engaged in that activity. The other thing I would say is that we are going to be publishing lots of images of people who we have evidence at this moment in time in terms of criminal behaviour that we have on CCTV and other footage. I would ask Londoners once again, and normally Londoners do stand up together, I want Londoners to identify who they are so that we can arrest them. Grievances, concerns, challenges in communities are things we should be talking about. They're conversations we need to have. It does not in any way excuse the levels of violence, the levels of damage and offences that are being committed. I can reassure Londoners, we have a lot of police officers out there. We remain steadfast and determined. I have a lot of very brave officers who will continue to police this city. Just give us the space now to deal with the people that are doing it. Thank you very much.
Well, the assistant